What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again. So, we got a lot going on in hip hop all of a sudden. A lot of hip hop discussion, hip hop pseudo battles and beefs, new music coming out, new music on the horizon for 2023. So, 2023 is turning to get more action, getting more action as we speak. So, today we're going to talk about another hip hop list that is getting a lot of buzz all of a sudden on the internet. We basically at the beginning of the year had the Billboard Top 50 MCs of all time, which has created a firestorm with the Eminem and Melly Mel beef and all of that going on. But now Complex magazine has come with another list, the top 50 rappers from New York City. New York City's best 50 MCs / rappers / artists to come out in the last 50 years. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down that list. And I'll say who I want to swap in versus who I want to take out. And also we'll look at it, we'll split it up. We'll go 50 all the way down to 26 and then 25 all the way down to 1 to do my thoughts on this. Now, overall, at first glance, I said this list wasn't too bad, but then I looked at it again. The placements are all over the place, and I don't know what they're basing this on. Now, I assume they're basing the placements on, overall ability, lyrical ability, their impact on the game, how they changed the game, originality, etc., etc. I don't know if catalog seems to be a big deal. Maybe their catalog or their body of work, but I think because it's Complex, they're going to look at more longevity and your hit-making ability more so, and they may lean that way. But even with that, I still have some questions about it. So, anyway, let's get started. So, this list is going to create a lot of controversy, I'll just say, because your favorite MC or rapper from New York is not going to be as high as you think they are. So, off the top, number 50 was Ice Spice, and I'm dead against this. This girl hasn't been out for even a full year, maybe a full year, if that. She has had a lot of hits. I'm not going to say a lot of hits. She's had hits and has a lot of buzz, but she's taking advantage of a weak rap market right now where really a lot of rappers aren't spitting like that. And she's jumping on the TikTok drill dance / Jersey House wave, because a lot of her songs have the same beats, the Jersey House beats or drill beats. She's just wave jumping right now. Now, I will say she does have a little bit of something going on, because I think her tone, her monotone style kind of fits her. You know what I mean? And it's kind of different from the other female rappers out there, but she does not belong on this list, period. I would swap her out at number 50 for a rapper that a lot of people kind of overlook, but I would swap her out for French Montana, because French Montana, in the 2010s, really the biggest rappers were Nicki Minaj and French Montana. You could say A$AP Rocky to a point, but French Montana he's got hits on the resume. He's got, street and club anthems like Ain't Worried About Nothing and Pop That. That's going to live on forever. I mean, his Afrobeat song from Unforgettable with Sway Lee is, I believe, a diamond single. And that kind of got New York into the Afrobeat wave. Where Afrobeats is now like one of the leading genres out there. So he got ahead of that. And at the same time, he's got street content with Harry Fraud. For traditional rap listeners, he belongs on this list. So I would easily swap him out, who's held down New York hip hop for the most part in the 2010s. He belongs at number 50, and I'd swap out Ice Spice because she does not belong there at all. So after that, you got Pharoah Monch at 49. You know, I don't have a problem with him being at 49. I'm glad he made the list because he's a supreme lyricist. He can be up further, but I think what they're looking at here is he may not have a lot of hits, or he hasn't had a lot of hits, I would say, in the last 20 to 25 years. And that's why they docked him down. But with me, I would definitely have him more up just on his lyrical ability alone. So French Montana, good pick. 48, Diddy. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. But again, you know, even though Diddy's had a lot of help from the hit makers and ghostwriters, Diddy is an iconic figure, and he needs to be on this list somewhere, somehow. So 48, I'm okay. You know, if they had him in the top 20, then I'd have like a problem, because it's like, how much credit are you giving to Diddy? You know what I mean? So I kind of do. I'm on the fence about Diddy, you know, but I could see him at 48. It's not horrible to have him at 48. 47, Biz Markie, pioneer from the 80s, from the Juice Crew, from those days. He definitely belongs on here, yes. Now, people are going to be upset about this, but 46, Styles P, I think is very low for him. But again, I think Complex is more so looking at more commercial hit-making impact, which Styles hasn't really been on there since the late 90s to the mid-2000s. But to me, he belongs in the top 30 easily. Top 30, maybe. No, he belongs in the top 25. Just off of his longevity and his lyrical street ability, street rap ability. He's one of the greatest street rappers of all time, and he needs to be commended for that. So I would have him up further, but Styles belongs on this list. Now, number 45, I would kick this guy the hell out. Jim Jones don't belong on this list. He just don't. He had a little bit of shine in the late 2000s, but after that, he's been a love and hip hop star, and he's pretty much been an independent type of artist that's made decent albums, but nothing that stands out. So I don't know how Jim Jones got on here. I would kick him the hell out, and I would swap in this spot. I would swap in Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks, better lyricist, has more. I think he has more hits and more magnified hits than Jim Jones. I think better delivery and style with his tone and his monotone style. Lloyd Banks belongs on this list. Kick out Jim Jones, get him the hell out of there, and get Lloyd Banks in at 45. At least 45, maybe higher. So number 44 is another one that kind of puzzles me. Grand Poobah is 44. Now, I gotta be honest with you. Brand Nubian, when everybody was on the African medallions and that sort of conscious wave from the late 80s into the early 90s, they jumped on that. But Grand Poobah, I can't see it. He needs to get out of there. I don't know how much his influence was on the game, because even in Brand Nubian, you could say Sadat X may have been the better MC. You could argue that in there. He may have had some harder solo works, you know. I know Grand Poobah in the mid 2000s had a real good album called I think 2000 in the mid 90s, mind you. I'm thinking 2000s, 90s or whatever. So I do think Grand Poobah is, I don't know. He's borderline, and unless he is the undisputed frontman of a group and took a group to far levels beyond we imagine, he's just another guy, really, in New York. I could name a lot of other hip hop groups like Black Moon, like Buckshot Shorty, or De La Soul. Their front man could be in this spot, but I would swap him out for another artist that I thought in the same time span had a bigger impact on the game, and that's Heavy D. Heavy D was big in the New Jack Swing era as far as an MC and bringing that kind of club feel, and being he was the undisputed front man of Heavy D and the Boys. I would have him in there in Grand Puba's spot at 44. He needs to get recognition, definitely, Heavy D. The late, great Heavy D. So Grand Puba, I would kick him out. And now number 43, the man of the hour, Melly Mel is on here. I'm fine with this. I mean, he could be anywhere from here to 50, but maybe he won't bitch and moan about this list like he did the other one, and get himself in the hot water as he did with the other one, which we'll get to later in the next post, because he just reversed course totally with the whole Eminem thing. But that's another story for another day. I'm fine with Melly Mel on here. Sean Price at number 42 is actually pretty good. I'm glad he finally gets his recognition for all of the underground / boom bap, hip hop he's been doing over the last years before his untimely passing. So I definitely like Sean Price on here. Good pick. Could be up higher. A$AP Rocky at 41. I think he's a little bit too high. I get why he's on here, but I think French Montana had a bigger impact in the 2010s, but I would have him maybe lower, maybe after 45. It's a little bit too high for A$AP Rocky, who came in the early 2010s. First couple of albums were good, but after that, I don't know. Maybe he's living off of his fame with his wifey Rihanna. I don't know, but I'm kind of iffy on this one at 41. But I could see him on the list, maybe a little bit further down. Now, this is another one at 40. I don't understand this whatsoever, but Kool Moe Dee, he wasn't, I guess you could say he was big in the 80s, but I don't think he belongs on here. I mean, after he got smashed by LL in the 80s, he was a nothing rapper, really. So, didn't have a lot of longevity. Kind of was a guy in the game when hip-hop was in its infancy or what have you. He was kind of there just to be there. So I would take Kool Moe Dee out, and we need to get on here Talib Kweli. Talib Kweli has to be on this list. Definitely the longevity, the lyrical ability that he's had. I mean, the Black Star Classic. I mean, he's got it all. Talib Kweli has to be in this place at number 40. That's who I'd swap in for number 40, because I don't understand Kool Moe Dee being on this list. I really don't. 39, Noriega. I could see it. Maybe a little bit further down. Maybe 39 is a little high for him, but I'm okay with Noriega being on this list. He had a borderline classic album with N.O.R.E. Coming out in the late 90s. Also of fame, Capone and Noriega fame, one of the great street groups of all time. And also, he kind of, got the wheels moving on that reggaeton train when he was one of the first artists to bring reggaeton to the hip-hop world. So I would definitely think Noriega belongs on here. Actually, now, a second thought, 39 is a good spot for him. I wouldn't have him any lower, any higher. MC Lyte, 38, good pick. Like, she belongs on here, definitely. And I said on a post on my Facebook page, if you're going to have Ice Spice on here, you better have a good 5 or 6 females on here up higher. You know what I mean? So she's definitely one of them. And you could argue her a little bit higher, but I think 38's nice for MC Lyte. 37, Ja Rule. He does belong on here. maybe a little bit further back. I would swap him. I would actually say Talib Kweli may get more recognition, but I get it. The hits, the way that he brought melodies more into hip hop, he belongs on here, despite how you feel about him, because he is a type clown, really. But anyway, Ja Rule, I'm fine with him being on the list. Now, number 36, Kool Keith, I get him the hell out of here. I've never heard anything from Kool Keith really in my life, and I've been listening to hip hop for over 40 years. Let's just say, no, not 40 years. I'd say 30 years or so. So I really haven't heard anything of impact from Kool Keith. I get him the hell out of here, and we got to get AZ on here. AZ needs to be in this spot. One of the smoothest deliveries, smoothest flows, smoothest rap styles of all time. He's got gold records. He had some hits in the 90s or what have you. Famous member affiliated with Nas on maybe one of the greatest collab album songs of all time, and Life's a Bitch. AZ needs to be in spot 36. Get Kool Keith the hell out. 35, Old Dirty Bastard. I could ride with it. I think after his passing, his legacy grew a little bit, but I'm definitely fine with Old Dirty being on this list. And 35 is a good spot for him, I'll say. 34, Foxy Brown. I'm good with that. Definitely. And she also brought somewhat of a Caribbean reggae influence in the early 2000s with her third album, if you will. So she was a little bit of an innovator, has hits, was in the mainstream, and also had great rap ability. I'm fine with Foxy Brown being on here. 33, GZA. Obviously, a member of Wu-Tang, one of the greatest lyricists of all time. 33, good spot for him. 32, Fab, no qualms there. I think 32 is a good spot. I don't think that Fab should be up any higher than that. Maybe top 30, maybe number 30, but that's about it. Fat Joe at 31, another good pick. I'm fine with that. He deserves to be on here. Terror Squad, one of the first Latinos in this game to really put his stamp on hip-hop as a hardcore street rapper, and then took his music in the early 2000s to the club and to the radio. So I'm definitely good with Fat Joe. 30, Cool G Rap. Now, at number 30, I would have him up a little bit higher. He's top 25 to me, maybe top 20. But I'm glad they gave him some flowers on this one, because member of the legendary Juice Crew, maybe the father of East Coast street rap as we know it, the innovator of that, Kool G Rap definitely deserves his flowers to be on this list. 29, Big L, perfect spot for him. One of the greatest punchline rappers of all time. He had an untimely passing, but his legacy grew. Big L definitely belongs on this list, and I think 29 is a good spot for him. 28, Mace. I would actually have Kool G Rap ahead of him, because Mace was a supreme hit maker in the Bad Boy run of the late 90s, but he fizzled out kind of quick. So I would have him further back. I would even have AZ in this spot. So I would definitely have AZ, which I swapped out, or Talib, you could argue, or Kool G Rap in this spot. But Mace is a little bit high to me for that. He's more like top 35 than top 30, I would say. Now, 27, this one is a little bit too much. Pop Smoke does not belong all the way up at number 27. I would put Pop Smoke in the 40s. But again, it's kind of like the Ice Spice thing. I think what Complex is trying to do is they're trying to cater to the TikTok drill generation, which has kind of come into prime with under 25 listeners in the last 2 years. So I think they want to, this is a little bit of an overinflated pick because he had a really short window, but he's a major innovator in the game with the New York drill sound. So he belongs on this list. I would probably have him in the top 35, not top 30. So he needs to move back some spots. And people like Styles P, AZ, and those that had longevity definitely belong up further than him on that. Okay. At number 26, Raekwon. I can argue him in the top 25, but I'm not mad about the top 26 pick. 26 is a nice pick for Raekwon, if you will. But I would have him up higher on if I were to do this list over again. So in the end of the day, I would swap out in the back 25, I would swap out 5 rappers. And definitely they need to have people like Styles P further up. They definitely need to have Styles P and Kool G Rap further up in the top 30, I think. Styles P kind of got hosed in this, I think. But overall, not bad, but some of these picks were reaches and some of these placements were reaches. But at least they give props to some of the guys that did it the hard way with longevity and lyrics. So I'll give him props on that, but 5 need to be swapped out. Jim Jones, Grand Poobah, Kool Keith, Ice Spice, definitely. And and some of these other artists need to be up further. So I'll go with that. So that's my breakdown of the first, the back half, the 50 to 26. I'll be back with another edition to talk about the top 25. So, and tell me in the comments, what do you think? Did Complex get it right? Did they snub people? I think they had a lot of snubs. Did they do these rappers justice with the placements? Because I really think some of them got hosed, especially Styles P, with the body of work that they have. So anyway, I'll catch up with y'all a little bit later. We're getting ready to do another vlog this afternoon. So I'll see y'all a little bit later. Enjoy the rest of y'all afternoon, and I'll catch up with y'all soon, all right? Peace.